Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Good evening.
Travis Hayes está aquí celebrando nuestro siguiente paso del proyecto de innovación.
Travis Heights is here tonight to celebrate our next step in the Innovation School project. We are moving forward with becoming the first campus-initiated in-district charter school in AISD. Tonight we are presenting signatures of support from 90% of our school community.
Our teachers and our staff also voted, and I am proud to announce that we have 97% signed in support of our campus-based in-district charter school.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to support the recommendation of the superintendent to award an in-district charter to Travis Heights Elementary. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed? Motion passes 9-0.
It was an exciting moment. All our hard work paid off.
So how we started this out was that the American Federation of Teachers has an innovation grant. They want, across the country, local unions to be innovative around education, to create an in-district charter that brought parents and teachers together to create a school that would impact the kids.
They went around to 100 schools here in Austin looking for a school that would like to take the challenge.
I think Travis Heights has had the culture to be willing to try something new. We did a dual language. They had had an experience where people tried something new and people trusted as a community that it could work.
It started with us sitting down as a campus and the principal talking to us and letting us know that this charter was available. It was a possibility for us to do something new with our school.
From January through June, our CAC discussed it and we looked at the other schools that might be interested, and when we met with Dr. Cruz, I guess in April or May, there were 10 schools that came together and he said, if you want to do this, submit by June. Our CAC said, okay, and so we did submit and lo and behold, we were the only one.
It was exciting, it was something different, and I also knew it was going to be very groundbreaking for Austin and certainly Texas. I knew that the process to roll this out had to be thorough. I believe that the commitment from the leadership of Austin Interfaith at Austin and then the school community at Travis Heights, that commitment to that making sure that individuals understood and knew what was going to happen here was essential, and they were going to make it happen.
Parents and teachers got together. It was gathering steam, and it seemed like it was something that was really going to happen. You know, a lot of buzzwords were being thrown around, like autonomy and freedom. I know that I felt, along with some of my colleagues, that, are you just saying this to me? I want to know that if we're going to go through with this, there's going to be some truth to it.
There's a movement afoot to really challenge the old school methods of how public education has been structured for decades. And what I think is important about this model is that it's really new for Texas. By allowing our schools to be able to have a more hands-on approach to what we do in school every day, and that's from funding to curriculum to the ability to be more flexible in staffing. We believe that people on the front lines can make our schools better and get better outcomes for our kids.
What we saw in education was that the reform movement was beginning to take education away from teachers, away from the parents. You had accountability, NCLB, and testing that had become so cumbersome, so overwhelming in schools that it was hard to find space to do the type of innovative teaching that we believe that kids need. And so this was a way to get a little bit of elbow room, if you will, a little space for teachers to be able to talk about what their expertise is and to find out what the parents' needs are and to bring those two together in a powerful program that allowed them to teach what they believe were best practices, to assess in the way that was dynamic rather than just a multiple choice test, and to really listen to what the needs of the community were.
The summertime was a critical point for our program. We spent the summer with a team of teachers writing the application. The application had to lay out exactly what our school was going to look like, being general enough that it would allow us flexibility, but specific enough that it would be measurable and instructionally credible.
There were grant requirements. We needed to get 80% of the parents, community, and administrators to support the idea of an in-district charter. And what that entailed was doing a lot of work in terms of getting the word out about what was happening with the school.
This was where Austin Interfaith really came into play, because what the organization is about is identifying and developing leaders.
And that's what this whole community did. This school community, the neighborhood community, they started to listen to each other. They started to find out what the needs were for each other. Because you assume that parents understand what the teachers want, and you assume that teachers know what the parents want, but they don't. They have to start talking, and that's what we started doing.
There's a lot of really dedicated, committed, hardworking staff and parents. Throughout this whole process, it's been kind of cool to see how many parents have been behind this and have done so much work.
The process that we used to decide whether or not we wanted to become an in-district charter school, any and every school can go through and would find invaluable. And what at the end of the process you find will be different for every campus. Going out there and asking people, what do you like about the school? What would you like to see different? What are your hopes and dreams for your children? What's the best thing about being a teacher? What would you do if you could do whatever you wanted to with the day? What would your day look like?
I think this process has strengthened the collaborative nature of our faculty, certainly understanding that it's not up to one person, nor is it one person's decision. It is a combination of all of us working together to craft a vision that we're all happy with and that we all believe in. Then once you do that, it's up to every single person to live up to that vision.
We believe that it's very important that you know more than one language, that you understand technology, and that you have intrinsic motivation to be a lifelong learner so that you will have those 21st century skills and the ability to ride that wave of technology, and when the opportunity comes, you can be successful. And that's what we want. We want them to be confident in themselves and to know how to learn, to know how to be creative and critical thinkers.
They wanted to have some project-based learning, that they weren't just doing worksheets, that they weren't just preparing for a test, but they were digging deep into issues that were important for this community.
I think the value of supporting the in-district charter is about ownership. Here we have a community of parents, teachers, students, very engaged in learning, very involved in the academic programming of their school, of their community. And that level of ownership is what we want for every single one of our communities in the Austin Independent School District. Travis Heights is out there doing it first.
I have no doubt that people will be watching. They will judge the success of the school and the implementation of the program.
I think Travis Heights has changed. It's different than we were a year ago. I think this process has brought out some leaders.
This process is a continuum. I don't think it's over yet. I think this is just the beginning. There's checks and balances to make sure that over time, the mission, the goals of the in-district charter are adhered to. And so we look forward to the challenge of becoming a great school and people in the neighborhood seeing what great work we did.
They have a lot on their shoulders, and so I'm glad that they're willing to be the first and to step out there and just try to make everything just that much better for our kids and families. And for that, they deserve a lot of credit.
I'm so proud that as a union president, we were part of a large effort to create the space for teachers to truly be able to have control of their classrooms and for the kids to be able to participate in that real, genuine learning environment.